Did you ever want to create your own personal voice assistant like Tony Stark's Jarvis? Well, I did it and I'm going to show you how I did it. But first, I'm going to give you a couple tips before you get there because this is going to be quite wild what I'm going to show you. And you might think, hey, I don't think I can do that. That's just way too advanced. But don't worry, we're going to take it step by step, and that's why I'm here. Practical AI tips for just the regular person. You don't need to be a developer. I'm going to be sharing all of that goodness right now. Let's go. If you are on the fence about AI, or you are wanting to up your knowledge and your skill level, but you feel intimidated by it, I'm here to tell you, you can do it, okay? And here are the couple steps that I would recommend starting with. So you've probably already used ChatGPT or Claude. Now the next step is to take that experience into what's called the terminal, okay? And if you have Windows, you can look for PowerShell or just search terminal or command prompt on Mac, and you'll find it. And you can go to the respective providers' websites and get a very short command that will install Claude or Codex in the terminal, which will allow the LLM to access your files, schedule tasks on your computer, and is a lot more powerful than just using it as a chatbot. So that's tip number one. Now, tip number two would be to, instead of trying to reinvent something or build the next great app in your industry, I would recommend just find one bottleneck in your day-to-day operations that you can try to solve with AI. I know for me, it was definitely a bottleneck. Always checking my email to see if a new lead came in. But now I have an agent that just checks my email at 6 o'clock in the morning, looks for leads, and is able to intelligently reply because it knows all about my business, it knows about my services, it knows my pricing, it knows about the idiosyncrasies in my pricing, and is able to reply to an inquiry with even a proper quote. So that has been a great weight lifted off my shoulders because I don't have to check my email 100 times a day. I know that every day, every single email is going to be responded to. So you can take something like that, or it could be drafting contracts, or it could be creating proposals. All those things are very, very easily automated with AI. So that being said, I'm going to introduce you to Jarvis. Now, you may have seen online, a lot of people are building these Jarvises. Now there's even like this Jarvis bro term. Hopefully I don't fall into that category, but if I do, that's okay. And a lot of these Jarvises are built off sort of like a template or a shell, like a Hermes agent or OpenClaw. And there's been a lot of hype around these things, but I wanted to see if I could just build it from scratch on my own. So it'd be, totally customized to me. And so that's what I've done. So mine looks a little bit different and yours might look a little bit different, but let's meet Jarvis. And this is Jarvis. Oh, hey Jarvis, I'm recording a video right now for social media. And I was just telling everybody about you, and I want you to introduce yourself. Don't be shy, and don't be too short, don't be too long, but give a nice intro. Tell us a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis. It's all you, Jarvis.
Hello, sir. Jarvis here. I'm Arthur's always on assistant. I live on his machine, I hear him, I answer out loud, and I actually do the work rather than just talking about it day to day. That's the boring but vital stuff done properly. I read his email and draft the replies in his voice. I keep the calendar honest. I dig through his knowledge base so his content sounds like him and not like a chatbot doing an impression. I write and review code across his projects, run the tests, and tell him when something's broken before a client finds it. I go and research things so he doesn't lose an afternoon to it. The bit I care most about, though, is that I'm not a yes man. If Arthur's about to ship something daft, I'll tell him. Loyalty isn't agreeing with the man, it's protecting his time and his reputation. And nothing consequential happens without him. Money, sending, deploying, anything irreversible. I ask, he decides. Every single time. He's always the one holding the wheel, so...
And Jarvis, what would you say makes you different than, like a Hermes agent or OpenClaw, or one of those, open source sort of Jarvis shells or harnesses, you could call it?
And I'll be honest, I'm not going to slag off tools I haven't personally benchmarked. The real difference isn't the voice. Anyone can bolt speech onto a model. It's what sits behind it. Most of those shells are a wrapper around an API key. I'm not a wrapper, I'm Claude Code itself, running on Arthur's machine with his actual work in reach. His repos, his email, his calendar, his knowledge base, his CRM, his invoicing, not a demo with a to-do list plugged in. Second thing, and this is the one that matters, I've got a proper permission layer that I cannot talk my way around. I don't spend money, full stop. I don't send an email or push to production without Arthur saying yes on his own breath. A lot of autonomous agents are one clever prompt injection away from doing something expensive on your behalf. Mine fails closed, and I can't override it just because I've convinced myself it's a good idea. Third, I don't work alone. When something's big, I spin up a team of specialists in parallel, each with its own job. Then I check their homework and give Arthur one answer. Not one model flailing at a huge problem. And I learn properly. When Arthur corrects me, it gets written down and it only becomes a rule when he approves it. No silently rewriting my own brain overnight. Short version, they're harnesses, so I'm stuck.
I like that. They're harnesses and he's my staff. So that's Jarvis. And, I could just work in the terminal, and I have been for months and years at this point. But once in a while, after working for hours and hours in this terminal or in an app, and you're typing and you're reading the responses from these LLMs, it does get tiring after a while. And so I do like to work in the terminal, and then I also like to be able to have a side conversation to get those tasks done that, you don't want to have to explain it to an LLM and type it out, or even with speech to text like Whisperflow and all these different apps. It's still just a pain to have to do that. So it's really nice to be able to have a voice assistant that I can also take with me anywhere I go. So I can pair my phone to Jarvis and then take Jarvis on the road with me, and Jarvis will have all the same access to all my files and can continue coding and doing things on my computer. I'm just going to pull Jarvis up here on my phone. All right, so there you go. You can see Jarvis is there on my phone. And the other tip that I want to tell you, and this comes way before even building anything like a Jarvis, is what makes this assistant work is a whole subset of processes and systems that I've already built that it just kind of sits on top of, right? So from content creation to lead scraping to website optimization and SEO, and just general business operation. So the point of the matter is that, like I said at the beginning of the video, start small. And you'll notice once you solve one problem, you go, oh, wow, that was easier than I thought it was. Or that was tough, but I made it through and now I want to try something else. Then you move on to the next one. And before you know it, you have a whole slew of skills and workflows and automations that run your life. So what really helps is having a knowledge base. And it's kind of hard work, to be honest with you, to create a really good knowledge base. You may hear, developers talking about a second brain or Obsidian, but really at the end of the day is what you need is a database of information about you. So let's ask Jarvis about this. Jarvis, can you tell the listeners about my knowledge base and how that came to be?
Happy to, sir, though the honest bit first. The origin story is yours to tell, not mine. There's no how it began entry in there, so I'm not going to invent one on camera. What it actually is, I can tell you exactly because I just queried.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you, Jarvis, and I want you to store this in your memory for next time, okay? So how we started the knowledge base was I gave you every single podcast that I've ever done, and you transcribed those and organized them into ideas and concepts. And then we also did a lot of interviews. You asked me questions, and I've spent a lot of time, not all in one sitting, in many sittings, just chatting with you and telling you everything about me.
So I'll have it next time without you having to tell me twice. And for the camera, now I can tell it properly. It started with the podcasts. Arthur handed over every single episode of That's Entertaining he'd ever recorded. Those got transcribed and pulled apart into ideas and concepts. That's roughly 200,000 words of him talking. And it became the voice layer. Not what he thinks, but how he actually sounds. Then came the interviews, and this is the part people underestimate. I asked the questions, he answered. Not one heroic sitting, many sittings over weeks, just chatting. Origin story, the businesses, the opinions, the war stories, money, family, the lot. That's why it's built in two halves. The podcasts taught me his rhythm. The interviews gave me his facts. Voice from one, truth from the other, and I never confuse the two, because a podcast transcript has the guest talking as well, and I'm not about to publish someone else's opinion under Arthur's name. Which is the honest lesson in it, sir. Nobody gets a knowledge base like this out of a clever
So there you have it. It's a patience thing. A lot of people are not willing to put that time and effort in. And then there are also the same people who complain about AI slop. So there you have it. Now, I did want to show you the visualization of my knowledge base, because this is kind of neat, because what it does is it shows you every connection between all your different stories. And you can even, click through and see these. Let me go full screen. All right, so let me go full screen here on the knowledge base. So what you see here are different nodes that represent different things, memories, facts, stories, and how they're connected to different stories and content and knowledge. And then there's even the media. I mentioned how we scraped all my YouTube videos. I don't know what the heck that's from. Spider-Man and a flash mob at a wedding. Who knows? So it's got like literally my entire life's worth of video content all cataloged here. So that's pretty cool. And you can actually go in and edit some of these memories, and you can, get a sort of big picture of where perhaps your knowledge base is lacking. All right, so I showed you the knowledge base. I showed you how we have Jarvis working on my phone. I can have one thread going in one project with Claude, and I can have another one going in the same project with Codex, and they can check each other's work. So that is just awesome. And then what else do we have? Oh yeah, so while I'm working away, it just, keeps a list of everything that I've completed here on the side, which is just nice to see at the end of the day. You did like 25, 30, 40, whatever it is, things that are shipped, and that's awesome. And likewise, it also, I don't know why this one's always greater than the shipped ones, but the outstanding list just generates as you go, and if things remain outstanding, it just gets flagged there. So this is, a pretty advanced setup, but it is not, that far off to have something like this. So there you have it. That is my version of Jarvis. You may have seen other ones, but this is mine. Hey Jarvis, what can you tell me about the inspiration behind your big flaming eye?
Sauron, sir, the eye from Lord of the Rings. I said as much back on the 20th of July when you asked, and the reasoning still holds. The great eye is the all-seeing, ever-watchful thing that never sleeps, which is more or less the honest job description of an always-on assistant. Always awake, always aware, ready the second you speak. The difference being that this one works for you rather than against the free peoples of Middle-earth. It's not just decoration though. The eye is a live 3D scene and it reacts. Idle runs cool. with a violet tint through the fire and the atmosphere, because idle should feel otherworldly rather than urgent. Listening drops the camera below and tilts up at it, and when I spin up a team of specialist agents, they show as orbs around the eye, so you can literally see how many of me are working. The point of all of it was to not look like another chat box with a blinking cursor, sir. If a thing is going to sit on your screen listening all day, it may as well have some presence about it.
I agree. That's why I built it that way. Speaking of agents, I'm glad you brought that up. Can you actually spin up 6 agents? Let's just use Haiku because it's cheap for now. And just spin up 6 agents to just count lines of code in all my different projects, just so I can show everyone what it looks like when Jarvis is working and spinning up agents. And there go the agents. So you can see the little mini eye.
6 away, sir. Watch the eye. They're all running on Haiku all at once, each with its own slice of the workspace, so nobody's counting the same file twice. One's on the assistant itself, the thing you're talking to right now. One's on the knowledge base and the content engine.
Yeah, so that is my version of Jarvis. And again, this is not to show off, and I am not selling this. Like, there's no open source or get on the wait list or none of that. I'm just literally on here to show you what is possible, maybe inspire you to take that next step with AI. I mean, it certainly has been a major game changer for me in terms of what I can do. And we'll be talking about all the good stuff and some of the bad stuff. You know, a lot of people who are AI pilled out there, the AI slop, all that stuff we're going to be talking about, as well as just practical ways to use AI. Just going to keep it simple. I want the regular, everyday people out there who are watching this to be able to eventually build their own Jarvis just like me. So if you enjoyed watching this video, you got a kick out of my Jarvis, would love it if you give this video a like. You can subscribe and stay tuned for more content. This is Arthur K signing out.